Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on summer camp starring Diane, Keaton, Kathy Bates, Eugene Levy, and a whole bunch of old actors playing at going to summer camp after 40 years. And yeah, it's about as cringe as you could possibly imagine. Smash a like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 14, Joan. 1 through 14. Calm down. Calm down. We already went for a walk, so you could just calm the F down. So, I don't know why they greenlit this. I'm not exactly sure who it's for, but they're trying to do like a light family comedy using some of the oldest actors around. I mean, I like these actors, but seems like a weird premise. It's like 40 years later and everybody's going back to their favorite summer camp. But part of the plot is Diane Keaton has been ignoring her friends for 40 years. So, and then she has to overcome that, and she falls in love with Eugene Levy, who's the handsome guy in this movie. Good for Eugene Levy getting an upgrade, I guess. Man, the dialogue is cringe. Dialogue is cringe. There's a scene where Eugene Levy actually turns to Diane Keaton and says, "Are you looking at my butt?" Like, what? And then just a bunch of wacky summer camp hijinks with actors who are old. Very old. Whoa! I mean, yeah, it kind of doesn't work with this, and it's this light music you might hear in a greeting card store in the background, or the kind of music YouTube might give you for free. There's a food fight scene, summer camp food fight. There's a scene in which they ask Diane Keaton here, "Oh, did you make out with Eugene Levy?" Like, what is going on? What is going on? It's a weird movie. This summer in theaters, written and directed by Castile Landon. How old is she? Or he? 140? I mean, who's this movie for? 80 years old? I'm pretty sure no one's going to see this movie in the theaters, number one. I mean, Eugene Levy used to be on SCTV. I mean, geez, Schitt's Creek was really funny. This is just like, it's like a romantic comedy. What is he buying a boat and needed some money? Yeah, and then the running gag is the three rival girls, the prettiest girls, who are now older, have a ton of Botox and plastic surgery. Yeah, I'm not really seeing this as being a thing. I mean, it's consistent. I'll say that. It's, the characters are older and they've been reunited for a summer camp. I don't know who does that. Maybe that's a thing. Go back to your old summer camp, meet your old friends, but it's weird that the plot is Diane Keaton's been ignoring her friends for 40 years and now is ignoring them again. Like, after 40 years, you go to the trouble to go back to a reunion at a summer camp, and then she spends the whole time ignoring them, and then has to talk to Eugene Levy about it, who I assume she hasn't seen in 40 years either. There's a scene in which they turn in all their phones, but then later they're able to use the camp computers that are really old for some reason. Like, what are you doing here? Like, the characters this old, would they even be that into the internet? Look, Diane Keaton's older than me, so I gotta think she's at the level where she didn't grow up with internet at all, doesn't really care for it, would like to print it out on paper. So you're telling me she's a convert and she's old, the oldest one in the movie. I mean, I don't think Kathy Bates and the other actress, I forget her name, are her age. So I guess, these are the camp counselors. And they go swimming and hiking. I mean, it's a summer camp for old people. And yeah, I guess it's for older people going to the movies still. I guess that's an audience, but they kind of don't go anymore. Feels like a hotel movie. Sad to say. Now, Diane Keaton sort of slipped into that mode already a few years ago. But Eugene Levy? What are you doing this for? You're way more talented than this. Way more talented. Kathy Bates, too. And to some extent, Diane Keaton. But she already kind of started doing these types of movies. I mean, it's wholesome. Comedy-wise, kind of brutal. I mean, I don't really see it as a very funny comedy. So, first act, they go back to the summer camp. I'm sure there's a flashback. I think there is in the beginning of them going to camp, and then 40 years later, they decide to go back. Okay, so what's that make them? They were kids when they went to the summer camp. You're telling me they're supposed to be in their 50s? Doesn't really make any sense. More like 50 or 60 years later, but let's get past that. Second act, they're at the camp, they reunite. First it's great, but then Diane Keaton can't get off her phone or can't stop doing work. And Eugene Levy has to teach her the very obvious lesson. Oh, there's more to life than work. While they have a love affair or some kind of summer fling. Because I guess none of these people are married. Or are they so old they're all widowed or widowers. And then she falls in love with Eugene Levy. Probably some sort of contest at the summer camp, and the main characters win, I'm guessing. Or she decides to go ziplining to conquer her fear of heights, and then that's her big moment. And they all become friends again. She learns to be a better friend. Like a kids movie, maybe. Like, you're telling me, I mean, with a cast this old, it's got to be aimed at an older crowd, right? So I don't see them really needing to learn this lesson. I don't know if they could relate to it. Going back to a summer camp 40 years later, and you're still single, like, I don't really get it. Not doesn't scan for me. Doesn't really scan, but I guess Eugene Levy gets to be a handsome man. Crazy. Let's read the write-up. Follows Nora, Ginny, and Mary, 3 childhood best friends who used to spend every summer at sleepaway camp together. After years, when the opportunity to get back together for a summer camp reunion presents itself, they all seize it. Yeah. Okay. None of them got married. None of them have kids, grandkids at this point. Seems like one of them would. But okay. So maybe the other 2 do, but Diane Keaton does it because she's been a single, empowered lady who's used up her entire life at work. And after 40 years, she finally gets the message. I mean, that could be a good message, I guess. Kind of depressing if anybody in the audience could relate to it, but I guess. And again, 40 is, yeah, come on, 50, 60, maybe. Anyhow, would I see this? God, no. No, I wouldn't see this. I don't want to see Eugene Levy collect a paycheck. No, thank you. No, thank you. And that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Thanks to all who came out to my event today at the Stratford Senior Center in Stratford, New Jersey. It was a really good turnout. Had a great talk. Tomorrow I will be at the Morristown Library for Comic Fest. That's from 10:30 to 4:30. Yeah, I think 10:30 to 4:30. And I'll be doing my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. What a week it's been. Thank you all for buying my books and coming to my events. Hope to see you tomorrow. We'll see you in the next one.